Today, I will be discussing what is life coaching and what does it mean for you. I am a certified professional life coach. My name is Giselle Wallace, and I specialize in coaching same-sex attracted people. And life coaching is similar to how you would view a athletic coach. If you've ever played sports, or maybe you don't have to necessarily play sports and you know what a coach does, a coach writes the game plans for his team. And the coach also gives guidance and instruction to their team, ultimately so the team can win. Well, that is what a coach is. And when you add in front of the word coach, life coach, life is the existence. Life is living. Life is experience. And life coaching combines experiencing, existing, and living life and giving guidance and instruction for a game plan created for you to win. That's what I do. I am a life coach. Just to explain the difference between a life coach and a therapist, a life coach can be certified or they cannot be certified. When you are certified, this means that you go through training and you actually complete training by a professional life coach in order to receive the credentials and certification to be a life coach yourself. And so I am a certified life coach, meaning I went to a training program, a training school to learn how to be a life coach and to learn the methods and also the strategies of being a professional life coach. And it requires for you to exhibit the skills of being a life coach. So, for example, if you've ever been in college, or if you've ever taken an exam, if you've ever had to display your knowledge of how to fulfill or execute a task, that's what you do when you are in a life coaching program. I actually had to train and learn and develop the skills and the abilities to be a life coach. And I also had real life experience while I was in school. I actually had to coach human beings in order for me to get a certification into becoming a certified life coach. So that is why I am certified, because I went to school and I have a certification to be a life coach. Whereas if you are a life coach and you do not have a certification, that's fine as well. You just use your own real life experience and knowledge to coach other people. And here's the difference between being a life coach and a therapist. A life coach, we are not licensed by the state, because there are very strict guidelines and laws that therapists have to abide by according to their state and government regulations. So to be a therapist means that you have the ability to practice diagnosing a person with any type of mental or physical condition. You also may have the ability to practice medicine, where you can prescribe medication to your clients. So there's different forms of therapy, different types of therapists. And depending on what you went to school for, what your specialization is, you are licensed to practice those techniques with clients. And you have to abide by state laws and even in some cases, federal regulations to practice. Now, therapists, I have a quote where I say therapists work on the back end with their clients, while life coaches work on the front end with their clients. End quote. That's my quote. And what I mean by that is therapists usually focus on your background and your history, and they help you work through a lot of the trauma and issues that you faced very early in life that may be hindering you from performing as you would like to in a healthy manner. And they pretty much will help you work through trauma, and they can even be able to determine specific types of trauma or conditions or health issues that you may have as their client. And that's why they go to school to practice. Like, it's a science. It's a very detailed profession. And so they're licensed to know about the mind and how the mind operates. And that's why they're therapists. Whereas as a life coach, I like to say we work on the front end. So we work with clients in very different aspects. And the unique thing about being a life coach is I am here for you to give you information, wisdom, guidance, as well as accountability for you to do whatever you need to do to become successful. And you as the client, you get to choose where you feel like you need to make improvements, or where you believe that there's blind spots in your life, or you may even feel like you've plateaued, like you're not making any movement, any progress. And you kind of need someone else to help you see where you stand and why you're not making any changes for the better. And you may have your own reason why you need life coaching that may be different from someone else. There's a lot of different categories that life coaches specialize in. For example, you can go to a life coach if you want to learn about how to be an entrepreneur. So there's business life coaches. You may want to go to a life coach who actually knows how to crochet. So you can learn how to crochet from a life coach. You may want a life coach who teaches you how to cook from scratch. You may want a life coach who actually gives you information about how to live an authentic life as a same-sex attracted person. I am a life coach who actually coaches same-sex attracted people. And there's so many different categories that it leads into. For example, I actually coach people who may come from very religious upbringings, and they were not allowed to be themselves as a same-sex attracted person, meaning they identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, or demisexual, or asexual, and they are attracted to the same sex or gender. And they were not allowed to express themselves because they may have heterosexual family members who do not support or condone homosexuality or bisexuality. So this causes a person to want to know the best way to navigate life as a same-sex attracted person, because they don't have that support, or they don't have someone who has experience, real life experience, on how to get from point A to point B all the way to point Z. So because I have a similar background, I am able to coach them in that specialized area. And another area that I am able to coach people in is if they are, for example, a parent who is heterosexual and they have children who are gay. I can coach parents who have gay children because I know what it's like growing up as a gay child and having heterosexual parents. So that's an example. It's basically real life experience that you get from a professional who has been through and conquered the path that you intend to cross. We don't know always how to process everything we go through. And sometimes we don't know what the answers are. And when you have a life coach who has been through those life experiences and they have overcome those hardships and those trials and tribulations that you are not quite there yet, you haven't actually overcome. When you have a life coach to coach you through, just imagine being on whatever your favorite sport is, just being there on the field, and you're nervous, you're not sure what the game plan is, what the strategy is, but I'm right there by your side as your coach because I already know the beginning to the end. And I'm here to give you that support and that guidance, as well as the wisdom that you need. And I can as well make you accountable because many of us need accountability. When we're doing everything all by ourselves, sometimes we don't do anything at all. But when you have someone who makes you accountable, it actually encourages you. It actually strengthens you, as well as it helps you to establish your goals. Most people do not meet their goals in life because they don't have a support system. So being a same-sex attracted person, many of us don't have a support system, and we don't always know how to do life. And another topic that I cover is love in relationships between same-sex attracted couples, or even just you're a same-sex attracted person and you're single, you're ready to mingle and meet someone of the same sex. We weren't taught how to meet people when you're gay, lesbian, bisexual, or same-sex attracted. So because I've learned how to navigate life, love, and relationships, and also just dealing with people who are against homosexual people in the religious spaces, in our households, with our parents, our siblings, and extended family members. I've been there, I've done that. So that's why I'm able to be the life coach in that area. And then I also provide spiritual life coaching. And spiritual life coaching is for someone who has a love and a passion for serving the Most High God as a same-sex attracted person. And I have a motto. I coach same gender loving people and teach them how to bridge the gap between their sexual identity and their spiritual identity, end quote. I love to be able to coach same-sex attracted people who have a love for the Lord. And most of us have been taught that being gay or being a bisexual person is sinful, and that God's design is for heterosexual people. So we've often been ostracized, we've been neglected, we have been judged, and we have experienced a lot of mistreatment in the church spaces. We have not been welcomed, but yet we need to have a personal relationship with God. But the world tells us that we're not able to unless we're heterosexual. But that's not the truth. And I've written a book titled She a Lesbian? Finding My Identity in Genesis. And it actually gives you my journey into finding freedom as a spiritual person who identifies as a lesbian. But I give real world experience of other same-sex attracted people who have went through very very deep challenges in dealing with being a same-sex attracted person who has either thought that they could not have a relationship with God and be gay at the same time, or they're still trying to navigate having a relationship with God while being a gay, lesbian, bisexual, or same-sex attracted person. So I encourage you to read my book. You can order it at Amazon.com. It provides very detailed information. If you're not able to basically hire a life coach, at least not now, you can always purchase a book. A book is usually a very reasonable means of getting information that actually will benefit you, and you have it right there in written form where you can keep it permanently. So I encourage you to order She a Lesbian, Finding My Identity in Genesis, and hire a life coach. Invest in yourself, because I'm a learner, I'm a student, I have different degrees, and I know what it's like to go to school and pay for a class and invest in myself. And the reason why is because I wanted to improve my life. I wanted to know more about what I did not understand. And I knew in order for me to accomplish that, I was going to have to study, I was going to have to learn, and I also was going to have to receive some coaching. So I paid for these services. I paid for getting an education. I prayed as well. I paid for life coaches. I've even paid for therapists. I've invested in myself. So I'm 100% supportive of hiring a life coach, and also hiring therapists, investing in books while you have the time now, because we have actually a lot of time on our hands. If you are, for example, thinking, well, I don't have the funds, you don't know what's available to you until you take that first step and ask. Like, reach out to me. I will speak to you. I will talk to you about your situation, and we will see what works best for you as far as receiving life coaching. And I'm also an instructor with my online school, and it's called Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. You can actually find how to contact me by going to my website, GiselleAWallace.com, and you can email me at info@GiselleAWallace.com. I'll be glad to hear from you, and I am here for you for life coaching when you need one. I appreciate you for taking some time today to listen. I am Giselle Wallace, certified professional life coach and author. You have a beautiful day, and I encourage you, invest in yourself. It makes a world of difference. It really does. Have a beautiful day.